Trump boastfully claims it will make no difference if a deal is reached. U.S.-Iran talks continue into Sunday. U.S. President Donald Trump said Saturday he was not bothered about the outcome of U.S.-Iran talks in Pakistan, insisting the United States had come out ahead from the war, even as negotiations aimed at securing a deal to end the 6-week war between the two countries before a 2-week ceasefire expires were set to extend into Sunday. The talks in Islamabad stretched into the early hours of Sunday morning following some 15 hours of marathon negotiations, even as Iran warned that Washington was making excessive demands over the Strait of Hormuz that could undermine Pakistan's peacemaking efforts. Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency said after 3 a.m. local time that the third round had ended, saying, "Serious disagreements still remain." State TV reported that negotiations would continue on Sunday, and Tehran's government said the negotiations would continue despite the remaining differences. However, a White House official briefed reporters around 5 a.m. Islamabad time that the talks were ongoing, 15 hours and counting. The trilateral direct negotiations were taking place with host Pakistan in Islamabad, a senior White House official said, a departure from recent practice where both sides held talks via mediator while seated in separate rooms. The U.S. delegation was being led by Vice President J.D. Vance, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, making it the highest level of American contact since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The Iranian delegation, composed of more than 70 members, was being led by Parliamentary Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, joined by Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Security was tight in the Pakistani capital on Saturday, with a heavy police and paramilitary presence on the streets and road diversions around the red zone, where government and diplomatic buildings are located. A Pakistani official told AFP that talks were progressing in the right direction after 2 rounds. "I can say that discussions are moving positively and the overall atmosphere is cordial," said the official, speaking on condition of anonymity. But as the third round began, Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency reported that it appeared to be the last opportunity to reach a common framework due to the excessive U.S. demands. Shortly after this assessment from the Iranian news outlet, Trump told reporters in the U.S. that, "Whether we make a deal or not makes no difference to me. The reason is because we've won," he said. "We're in very deep negotiations with Iran. We win regardless, we've defeated them militarily." The president also repeated his earlier statement that the U.S. had started clearing out the Strait of Hormuz, through which 1/5 of the world's crude passes in peacetime. The U.S. military said earlier on Saturday that 2 U.S. Navy warships had passed through the key waterway to begin clearing it of mines. "We have minesweepers out there. We're sweeping the strait," Trump said. "We'll open up the strait even though we don't use it, because we have a lot of other countries in the world that do use it that are either afraid or weak or cheap," the U.S. president said. The Iranian military denied that any American vessels had entered the waterway. The Wall Street Journal reported Saturday, citing data by Lloyd's List Intelligence, that 100 ships have crossed the strait over the past month. The outlet said, citing unnamed brokers and shipowners, that non-Iranian vessels have been negotiating toll payments with Iranian authorities that can go up to $2 million for a single ship. Iran has said that any agreement to end the war must include the unfreezing of sanctioned Iranian assets as well as an end to Israel's war against Hezbollah in Lebanon, which Vance has said will not be up for discussion in Islamabad. Iranian state television's correspondent at the talks said progress had been made on these issues, giving Iran the confidence to proceed. A U.S. official denied reports that Washington had agreed to unfreeze Iran assets held in Qatar. Despite the purported progress, the warring parties made no attempt to hide their mutual suspicion. Our experience in negotiating with the Americans has always been met with failure and broken promises, Ghalibaf said, shortly after landing in Pakistan. The Iranian delegation arrived on Friday dressed in black in mourning for former Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and others killed in the war. They carried shoes and bags of some students killed during the U.S. bombing of a school next to a military compound, the Iranian government said. That's what we can say. Don't forget to support our channel by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. We thank you all for your support.